Yep, it's another episode of Pilot Pile Up for Cartoon Buffoons. I'm Wyatt.
Oh, and
Morgan,
I'm
are you?
Morgan.
Yeah?
I'm not returning. Nigga, you usually go, and I'm here as always. You didn't add anything. You just said, I'm Wyatt.
Right, that's right. I do the... Okay. Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker. You can't go Morgan. Like, it's you
Yeah.
team me up.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not going to team me up. Okay, I'll do my bit. Fine.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah.
Hello.
You know what? Let's just... Hold on. Let's just... Shh. Bring it back.
All right, okay.
We can start from the beginning.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We can do another clap and then be like, or I guess just continue from this point because it's still synced up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is another bunch of pilots that we're doing today on Cartoon Buffoons. I'm Wyatt, and who is here with me today, as always?
Hello, I'm Morgan, and I'm not returning the slab, and I'll suffer the curse.
Great, and today we're talking about... we were going to talk about 6 pilots, but then 2 of them turned out to be lost media, so I guess we're not talking about those 2. So today we're talking about what the fuck are the names of these pilots? Stiff is the first one. Then the What's Wrong with Ruth, Crookd Sipp, and Diggs Tailwagger. Those are the only 4 that we're talking about because Project Gilroy and Bumblebrainess were both unable to be found on the internet, no matter how hard I've looked. In fact, I found lost media wiki pages for them, so I'm just assuming that we just don't have access to those pilots anymore.
Or
hopefully in the future we'll get to circle back and do that. I'm sure they're really worth it. Though that being said, one of them, Project Gilroy, was done by Shannon Tyndall, who is he did like Kubo, and he did the Ultraman movie that just came out.
It looks good too. Like I saw the screenshots of it. It looked really cool. I will say we're hitting the era of like no longer are pilots given just cleanly in like DVDs or VHSs.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to get a lot more. So we're probably going to get a lot more lost media ones because we're getting in that era where like there's nothing physical someone can easily upload like there used to be.
Yeah, because before it was like, oh, it would air on TV, in a special block, and then people would record it and then post it. Or people that just had the master, they would just upload it themselves.
Yeah.
But we're right before YouTube became a very like notable place to post this stuff. So, before Cartoon Network started to post their own pilots onto YouTube, which they started doing in maybe like 2013. I remember like the Steven Universe pilot and
the OKKO
like with Plaza
ones
Turbo. Yeah. In like 2013.
So like we're in a dark time. We're like
a
lot more of these are just hard to fucking find. So
So that's why I guess it's good that I peppered in some Adult Swim ones because those are easier to find because they usually air those more frequently. But continue. What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say good is relative.
Yeah, well,
like good as in we have something to talk about. Good as in, you know what? Let's just get into it. How's that? We'll just get into it. What's the first we talk? Are we talking about Stiff?
Yeah, we're talking about Stiff. That's the first one that we're talking about. Would you be shocked to learn that this was very much inspired by Sam Raimi?
No way.
Yeah. So
this is brought to us by Matt. Oh, what's his last name? Whatever.
Matt
the
Maiolero.
Matt Maiolero, who is co-creator and writer for Aqua Team Hunger Force 12 and creator of 12 Ounce Mouse. And that's all over this because this is the hardest thing to parse on Earth, and I don't know if I mean it as a compliment or an insult, but it's
yeah. It's just it's a very okay. So there's a lot I like about this pilot.
Same. There's also a lot I like about it.
Yeah. I like, taking this, like doing a very low budget version of sort of a, like a gore movie, like an Evil Dead style thing. The problem is, I was looking through the comments, and the person who posted this, like, he worked on the pilot and was talking about some of the behind the scenes things as far as like how Adult Swim felt about this pilot. Apparently, they absolutely hated it, and they did not want to give it anymore. And I won't say I hate this. However, I really am confused at the decision to make this a 20-minute show.
Me too.
Yeah, like, not just because most Adult Swim things are 11 minutes, so even, like, live-action shows, like Joe Pera, that's 11 minutes. But this is so oddly paced and so padded out that the entire time I was like, I think this would just be better if they just tightened it up, made it 11 minutes. Because they got, like, way too self-indulgent at 22 minutes.
I think it should have gone one way. This should have been a one-off, like, give it a full hour, make it a dumb hour movie, right? Or just make it a show that's 11 minutes, because like it now exists in this weird in-between place. Because things, I found myself laughing, but I mostly laughed at the beginning and the end. There's a lot of middle stuff I was like, this actually isn't that funny. But like Wyatt said, it's inspired by Sam Raimi, specifically Evil Dead. So that's the premise is you're following a investigator who is killing demons Evil Dead style. And that's kind of just the joke. Like, it's also like it's like ripping a little bit on like Buffy and like those other investigation supernatural shows. Like, one of the funniest jokes in the show is someone going, yes, they were born in 1920 and they died in 1986. That means they were born again in 1930 and 2034. And I'm like, that is how some of those shows feel, like, with just the nonsensical shit. But like, this show's at its best when it's just really stupid action scenes. With like, this show also has practical effects that I wouldn't say are good, but they're good enough for it to add to the comedy.
Yes, that's how I would describe it. That's why I said, like, I really like the low budget attempt at copying like Evil Dead 2 and things like that, because like obviously those movies are not the most high budget, especially the first Evil Dead is like extremely low budget, but like Matt Maialero is kind of well known for being parts of shows that are, let's just say, not exactly animation tour de force. So it makes sense that even when filming a live action show with like these action scenes and everything, that it would be kind of cheap looking, kind of crappy effects. But yeah, there's some pretty effective. Like gore and effects, like some of the like hand explosions and stuff when they shoot hands with like high caliber guns. Like, I'm like, this feels like indie movie sleaze in a way I dig a lot. Like, and it's just too long. It's just a little bit. It's just too long. There's like the middle portion of it where it's where they're at the like the home base or whatever, and he's saying, and there's the lady that's his partner slash the person he has sexy time with, which was what it was labeled on YouTube.
Yeah, like with the chapter.
I do like the sex scene because it's so ridiculous that it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no actual sex going on in the sex scene, but it's like framed as one. Like, that's very funny. But otherwise, like, I think it's like a cool premise. I enjoy it as far as that goes. And according to the person who uploaded this, John Breston, like, it was trying to combine Sam Raimi with a 70s era paranormal investigator show called The Night Stalker.
Shit! Hell yeah!
Specifically, and that makes sense because like having seen like a little bit of some like 70s kind of like mid-tier television stuff like Walker, Texas Ranger or whatever.
Yeah, the vibes there.
This definitely, yeah, it absolutely has that vibe more so than it does like a 90s show like The X-Files or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something like that.
Yeah, it almost feels like a little like old Doctor Who-y in some ways.
Yeah, definitely
yeah.
like third Doctor era Doctor Who, which I can is actually a point of reference I can make after doing the podcast with Cody. But
I will say,
I
will say, this probably got the strongest. Like, there's a pilot we're gonna talk about later that I liked a lot, but this had the strongest laugh out of me at the end where the guy was like doing his evil monster transformation. His arm slowly sliding off to reveal monster hands, and he talks. And he goes, "I'm going to kill you." I'm like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
That was really good. It was really funny. But yeah, I think because this one's on YouTube and like fantastic quality, everyone should watch it. It's it's too long, but I think it's a go ahead.
720 views, which is like pretty surprising. I have videos that have more views than that, so
yeah. Like I don't know. I think there's something about a lot of the Adult Swim pilots, like live action ones specifically, from this era that I think they're not always good. They're usually just not good at all. But they do show the like upside of like William Street, where they were just really letting motherfuckers do anything for 11 to 20 minutes. And I think that does kick ass.
Yeah. So the next one that we're going to be talking about is What's Wrong with Ruth. And again, going to YouTube comments, there's one that I saw that I kind of agree with in that somebody was immediately like, I don't know if this is actually funny or if this is just really obnoxious. Like, genuinely not sure if this is funny or obnoxious. And that is my feeling throughout this entire pilot, was that the entire time I'm like, do I find this funny or is this annoying me? How did you feel, Morgan?
I think this was I wrote down not awful, but I think the voice acting's too annoying. I think the writing in it is pretty all right, actually, like from a joke standpoint. But oh man, everyone's doing a really shitty, this is what a cartoon character sounds like voice in this.
Yeah, that's how I would describe it. Like the performances and I don't know, there's certain things. Yeah, some things about it definitely feel like a little bit trying too hard to be funny, but there is some moments in there that like got a laugh out of me, and in general, like I feel like if they just toned it down like a little bit, I would like it a lot more. Like that's how I feel. Like, and I usually like really cartoon. I mean, we just talked about Chowder. That's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, Chowder's fucking aggravating sometimes.
Yeah, but like it's just a little bit too much for my old bones, going and watching this. I think like even if I was a kid, I would find it kind of aggravating. So Ruth,
I think also, go ahead.
Yeah. What were you going to say? I was
going to say, I also think like the best jokes from this come from the quieter moments, which says a lot about like the writing being here. But yeah, tell us what this show is about. Give it a shot.
Yeah. So Ruth is a goat, and it's in a society, like a kind of like weird country village of goat people. And in this episode, she wants to learn how to fly. And her friend, who is some type of floating bird,
like a duck,
fairy thing,
maybe?
Yeah. She wants to teach her how to fly. And then her brother, who is like a nerd, hates her or is like annoyed by her. And her mom is depressing. Like,
I do think that her mom is depressing and a sheep.
A sheep. Yeah, not a goat. I will say the mom stuff, definitely, I think that was an angle where they could have like toned it back a bit. I think it's like too depressing. I think they just thought, like, wouldn't it be funny if it was, like, she was a depressed mom in a children's cartoon, and then they just didn't really think of it much further than that. They didn't like actually develop like a real character or any like interesting comedy out of that. They're just like,
she kind of just shows up and goes, "Your dad's not coming home, is he?" And I'm like, okay, that kind of what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the entire episode, she's crying about the fact that she misses her husband and that, you know, she's not going to come back with milk or the milk and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know. Oh yeah, we didn't rate the Stiff, fucking Stiff pilot. Yeah, I guess
Stiff is like a 3, you know?
Yeah, I would say like a pretty good 3, where it's like it's dragged way down by its length, but its ambition and, you know, it's what it's trying to do. I think like bring it up, and it kind of like divides evenly. Again, 3 out of 5 is not bad. That's like nice in the middle. It only starts becoming negative once you get to like 2 and 1. So just
I guessed it on a podcast where we discoursed about like, is a 3 out of 5 good or not? And I said it's pretty good.
There's plenty of stuff that I like or even love that I'm like, this is like a 3 out of 5. You know, I just can forgive the elements that drag it down more. You know, if I like a certain thing that's a 3 out of 5. So.
We did come to like the consensus that like the perfect rating is 7, but you just don't want to use it all the time. Because 7 gives you like I think 1 out of 7 is like it gives you like that knife's edge. You can like cut very cleanly. Yeah. 1 out of 10. That's too much. We're doing too much. I think. Like, come on, grow up.
1 out of 5, I think, is really good for its purpose. But I do agree that with 7, it's very similar. Where it's like, with 1 out of 5, you have 1 in the middle and then 2 on each side. And with 7, you have 1 in the middle and 3 on each side. So there's a little bit more of a degree of
you have more
difference.
Control. You're choking up
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if there's any fucking crazy person out there that uses a out of 7 rating, but I do agree with the philosophy of that. And then, go ahead.
I was gonna say, there's probably some pervert reviewing, I don't know, like fucking lawn instruments or some shit. That's like, I do that out of 7, man. Like, there's always a guy. Like, there's someone reviewing dildos or something. Like, this is a 6.
Yeah. Because at first I thought you were saying that like rating something 7 out of 10 is the best, and I'm like, no, that's like the most cowardly way to rate something, because I see that so often. First of all, I just think out of 10 is too much. You know, I've talked about that before.
It's too much. It's too.
It's just like
much.
a little bit too much because nobody ever uses the full rating scale. And then also people are like way too precious about giving out high scores with out of 10 and everything. Whereas like you will feel totally fine being like, oh, this thing is really good, but it's not quite like perfect or my favorite thing ever. 4 out of 5. Whereas a lot of people will be like, man, this is so amazing, et cetera, et cetera. They'll have like that same feeling, like maybe it's not my favorite thing ever, but it's just like amazing. 8 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10 or whatever. The people that use 0.5s, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to ever deal with you.
We're going to hang you by your thumb and beat you with sticks. Like,
I don't want to ever deal with you. Yeah.
I think the big issue is like, what makes a 7 versus an 8? What makes a 3 versus a 4?
Yeah.
I feel like we're just like, you know, come on, dude. Like,
yeah, I feel like I can easily explain why I feel like out of 5, what a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is in the score. Whereas like if I did it out of 10, I could not tell you like what's the meaningful difference between like, you know, a 4 or a 5 or, you know, I guess 4 is like, oh, it's slightly worse than half. Even then, 10, because it's an even number, does not have a clean middle. It divides evenly in half, but like 5 and 6 are the two things that are in the middle.
Yeah, that just fucks up the vibe.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. That's my. If everybody was wondering, like, why the fuck is Wyatt so upset about rating scores and ratings and everything, hopefully I gave you some elucidation.
I think I would also. When that Metroid review drops and someone gives it a fucking, like, a 7.5 out of 10, you're going to blow someone up. It's going to be so funny.
But, I don't know. This one, like I said, it did get some laughs out of me. I actually don't hate the art style either. other than the animation looks kind of cheap because it's kind of like, cheaper Flash animation or whatever, which makes sense. I mean, it's a pilot. Not everything needs to be like gorgeously animated because it's a pilot. Sometimes they can be kind of like made on the cheap. But yeah, I think it's like fine. I think that this person, who I'm not entirely aware of what else that they've made, like if had they gone on to do like worked on other shows or like made something else, like I could see it being a lot better.
This person was a writer on Chowder.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because there's a lot of the jokes that were funny made me think of Chowder. So, I don't know. I give it like also a 3, I guess, because it's like just funny enough to not be in the bad zone, but like, again, it has these. It's just kind of annoying, so it just kind of drags the experience down.
Also, unfortunately, pilots, you grade on a curve with pilots, man. You grade on one. Oof.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've seen worse pilots that are just not funny at all. So
not even a hint of comedy in them. Yeah.
All right. Next one is the Crookd Sipp, which
holy fucking shit.
Which does have some history to it, as far as I'm aware, because it was the basis for Freaknik, the musical.
And the thing is, I like Freaknik the musical a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them for...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, like, I remember Freaknik the musical a lot. I thought it was really good. I thought like the voice actor T-Pain is like a fantastic voice actor. Funny enough, like he does such a good job as the titular Freaknik. Also, I remember Freaknik the event. My mother told me about it. Which is wild that I like that because I didn't like this at all.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was like watching it. I was like, I don't really like this. Is because it's been a long time since I had watched Freak. It had probably been when it aired, which was in 2010. And it made me think, like, was that good? Was that even good? And then I looked it up and I was like, this, I don't know. It seems like respected and people enjoyed it. I know some people like look back on it fondly. So I assume that it is good. But I watched this and it was just like, a lot of this seems like very like cheap humor. Like obviously it's an Adult Swim show and there's going to be a lot of, cheap humor or whatever. And I'm not necessarily saying that, like, because I'm aware that at least one of the people making this pilot is black, and it's not just white guys making it, which would be a lot worse.
A lot worse.
But it feels like, it's a lot of like ire and, like, haha, isn't it funny about the South? Specifically Mississippi in the case of
inbred white women love to fuck black men. Ooh, no, but like I think the issue is that like this has no, not respect's the wrong word, enjoyment of it. Like even though like even though David Banner is like on this as like a producer, I don't think he was in the writer's room for any of this. Like sure. This feels like the white guys made this. It's also weird because like it only follows the white characters and like the joke is they're inbred and they fuck each other and she likes to fuck black men. It's weird because I think Freaknik as a flip. I actually went back and watched some scenes from Freaknik to remember it was so funny. It was. Freaknik feels like a love letter to like the most ratchet thing to happen in history. This feels like fucking 2 jokes that go on. There's a few chuckles I got from this, but like this is just ass.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's like that's why we give What's Wrong with Ruth like a comparatively good score is because it can get much worse than that, and like it just felt like very lazy and repetitive. I understand again, like this is kind of the era where Adult Swim was really trying to do a lot of like edgier humor because early on there wasn't that much of it. It was still pretty tame with like the early seasons of Aqua Teen and C-Lab and whatever. Like, and then eventually they get to the point where they're like, let's start being really racist, and then they make like Minora Team and like Perfect Hair Forever and things like that. And then I don't know. Like I said, I feel like, especially because Adult Swim would eventually get to the point where there is like multiple different shows made by black creators that are really good or well regarded. I mean, probably even at the same era, like was when season 2 of Boondocks was airing, and it like looking at this, it just kind of depresses me, like in a way that it just like. You know, like you said, like I got kind of excited at the start because I'm like, oh, cool, you know, this is a pilot, you know, that's not just white guys, you know, writing it and like about funny cartoon animals or whatever. Like maybe it will be like cool and about something, but then like when it shifts focus to like this you know white trash family, it just starts to be. It's just very. Like, okay, this is all the jokes about this are just like this girl, you know, doesn't understand that she's like an incest child or whatever. So she just wants to find who her real dad is. And that's like the whole joke. And then I think about something like Squidbillies, which also does like, haha, you know, white trash Southern people as like its main source of comedy. But that show is way funnier. I think it feels like more mean spirited, but it's so ridiculous that it just like loops around to becoming funny instead of being like this, which is just kind of like shitty. Like it just is not, you know, like that funny, unfortunately. But what were you gonna say?
I would say like I think it's also like the fact that Squidbillies like is good at letting stuff breathe. This felt congested. This felt like there's some breathing at the end, but this felt like they were just kind of going a mile a minute in a way that wasn't funny. Like, I think that's the issue with a lot of pilots, but most of all, some Adult Swim pilots, is that they're trying to stuff in that they're funny and their writers are clever so consistently, nothing has a time to hit. So this felt weird. I don't know. I kind of want us to cover Freaknik one day to see if this is really that bad, comparatively. Because there's a good joke in Freaknik from like the stuff I rewatched, where they like Freaknik is in in the radio station, and the guy's interviewing him, and you know like the shitty hood radio station like sound effects. Except the guy is shooting real guns and like stepping on tails of animals and like has like a big dynamite thing and he's blowing it up as he's talking on the radio. And I'm like, that's a really funny visual and joke. So this was bad. I gave this a 1.
Yeah, I think that like 1. That's like a pretty good, you know, deserving score for it because it just was really like. I don't know. I didn't feel any joy from it. No. And it just felt kind of like bored at best and uncomfortable at worst, you know, watching it. So, But, we got a really good pilot to go up on.
I love when a pilot makes me angry. It's not a full show. Let's fucking go.
Yep. We got one that I had absolutely no faith in based on the name, Diggs Tailwagger. What the fuck were they cooking with this one? Because this is an example of a pilot where it like looks amazing. It's just like one of the best looking pilots I've ever seen, like visually, as far as animation goes. Character designs on point.
Peak. Fantastic.
Humor, timing, everything. Like you could tell that this was like peak SpongeBob crew people moving on and doing a pilot because like a lot of people worked on SpongeBob and then also Steven Hillenburg helped with the pilot. So it was just like I like again, like you said, it was just I guess to explain the pilot, you know, it's a Star Trek style, you know, space voyage thing. But where it's a team of dogs. And you get like a lot of fun like dog character designs with the main character being like, you know, sort of a low rung on the ladder errand boy, like he's the gopher for coffee and everything. And his name is Diggs Tailwagger, and he's very much like the SpongeBob-esque, like eager. Well, I guess SpongeBob is actually good at his job.
No. Wait, okay. It seems Diggs is good at his job.
Yes,
I think
that's
he just
true.
he fucks over one. Like, oh, so like he's like the coffee guy. The opening scene with the animation made me go, we got some heat going on. I was so excited.
Yeah.
The opening scene is him delivering coffee to everybody. I knows everybody's order. Curry likes the coffee straight, and just is like very excited and giving him like, oh man. Also, his design is so cute.
Yeah, he's super cute. All the character designs in this are just like super cute.
The shapes and everything. It's so good. I was like livid. I was enjoying it. Then I got angry because it's not a real show. Like, I can't believe we got fucking goddamn bitch Fartman's stupid goddamn dog show, but we didn't get this one. It's bullshit. Like,
yeah, we got Tough Puppy and not this. Yeah, so just like the animation, like we said, it's just so good. It's so expressive and it's so like it's full of character. It's full of like Diggs himself is just such a cute little guy that just like in the middle portion of the pilot when he's like fighting with these robots is just so entertaining. Just seeing him like act against himself, like that's how you know something is really good, is if you can like put a character in a situation where they're mostly like acting on their own and it's still entertaining to watch without them like having to bounce off of another character.
I also think it's so good that like I think the fact that it's canonical that Diggs is just cute and like fun, because only one character hates him, and I think that's the funniest thing about it. In SpongeBob, so many people hate SpongeBob, but only one person hate him, and it's not even like Diggs' real boss. Like the captain is fine with him, but like one guy like, I fucking hate this stupid dog. He's so shitty, and it's so good.
Yeah, which is that is very like Squidward-esque, with SpongeBob, but like just like going through the pilot just because it's just so visually appealing. Like this is like, to me, like I really wish more cartoons from this time looked like this.
I do too. It's
because a lot of them went for sort of like rougher styles or more ugly styles, or like Chowder. Kind of, it has its own unique style. I'm glad that looks the way it does. I'm not saying that they should change it or whatever, but like this feels like it can be very like over the top and cartoony, but still has that like sort of energy. I'm actually surprised that Joe Murray himself didn't work on it, because I know that it says here in the description that Derek Dryman was a board artist on Rocko's Modern Life. And there's like some expressions that I saw that I was like, oh, this is very like Rocco or Camp Lazlo-y in this. So
yeah, there's also like a tweener energy to this. Like, wow, good wrestling term usage. Like this looks a lot of like toddler, like preschool shows, but not fully. And I think that helps it a lot. I think it's good because it really makes Diggs seem extra cute. He seems cute, like you can see him in like the toddler toy area. Like he'd be like a little figure they would get and they could put on their Playmobiles or whatever. And it really sells him, I think, across the board.
It's better than like Paw Patrol, which is propaganda, of course.
Fucking stupid pig ass cop. It reminds me of Rescue Bots actually sometimes, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is like good. You remember the discourse of people going, "This show's actually better than Transformers Prime." I'm like, you niggas are so funny. I love you.
Yeah.
I love all my discourse of
why people. I don't even understand why people were mad. I mean, look, season 3 has some issues with Transformers Prime.
It does have.
Don't get me wrong, and I definitely think that it was a choice to be like, all right, we're gonna get rid of one of the main female characters, and then we're gonna like kind of unfocus RC. She's not gonna be super important in this final season. We're just gonna focus on all the new boy characters.
We hate women. We fucking hate
women. We just fucking hate women. So like that's no good. But otherwise, like I think there's still some pretty good episodes in season 3. I think the ending of season 3 itself is really good. The movie I'm a little bit mixed on. And just the whole Predacon subplot, I'm like, this feels very pointless. Why did we do this? Predaking is cool, and that fight scene, he's sexy, and the fight scene that he has with Ultra Magnus and Wheeljack is really fucking cool. But
I think the issue is like when it comes to like Transformers at that time period, is that everyone had a big rock hit them in the head. Because like
Yeah,
at that point,
that is
that's
true.
what. That was the resurgence of people going, guys, I think the Michael Bay movies are actually really good. And I was like, ooh, we're
Yeah.
all dumb. We're all stupid. Kill us all.
Yeah.
I was just
Because I remember
when
the fourth movie came out which was around that same time. It was like 2015 or whatever, like a couple years after. A lot of people were like, this is like genuinely a good movie. And then I've recently watched it like a few years ago for, like the old Explode When Defeated Patreon, and it's really bad. Like that. Yeah. That's not the worst. That's not the worst one. That's probably, I would say probably the fifth movie is the worst one because it just has no redeeming factors at all for it. But four, I mean, that's the one where like, the guy from Midsummer is like, I want to fuck your underage daughter. And then he like talks about the Romeo and Juliet laws as to why it's okay that he can fuck his underage daughter. So
I think, like it's so weird that like Transformers fans, even now, I would argue, are so held hostage by Michael Bay. They're like, you know what? It could be worse. I'm like, not by much. Like, not by much. Like.
And to those listening to this, these tangents are what's keeping this episode afloat because we lost two pilots that we're supposed to talk about. We didn't get to talk about them. And then when I went, I was like, okay, what is the next batch of pilots? Maybe I can pick two from that. Turns out only two of those were available online. The other four were also all lost media. So like, we are really entering an era where there's just a shit ton of ones where we just have to hope at some point the people who made these pilots feel like uploading them onto YouTube. Because some of these, like, it wasn't until recently that they were uploaded. But yeah, anyway, Diggs Tailwagger, really good.
Really good. You guys should watch this. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, the main character was very cute design. I really like the electricity computer, like, weird
dog.
Yeah, that one is like a really cool design. I remember like when I saw that, I was like, "Uh-oh, are they cooking with these?"
I can't stop thinking about. I can't stop thinking about Curly. She's so cute with all the curly hair and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It feels. I'm glad. One thing. This is such a low bar, right? But it's just after going from like the '90s and like the early 2000s, where it was, a lot of pilots were of a certain make and style, I guess is what I'll say. I was pleasantly surprised that even though there was no like really major female characters in this besides that like computer dog, that all of the ones that were shown were just like they were like Starfleet officers, like from Star Trek, rather than like they weren't like sexy space babes. I expected there to be like one female character who was just like a sexy lady, where it was just like, oh no, this is like a whole operation. It's not like a small team of people and then there's the one hot girl. It's like, oh, it's a full ship full of people. And yeah, like I said, that's like a low bar to clear, I understand. Yeah. But again, we're dealing with scraps here with like some of these pilots, so
I'm like tempted to like try to like inject this into my weird furry friends. Like I think we could get a resurgence going. I think like Diggs is cute and like the captain's kind of hot. If I could like feed this to like my gay furry friends, let's get Diggs Tailwagger in 2026, dude.
I think gay furries would love Diggs specifically because
also,
he's like a fat, like excitable, Yeah. Go ahead.
Hold on. I literally looked up the name of it, and an account called Dilf Enjoyer posted some of the characters. Dude, let's fucking go. Yeah. We're so bad, guys. There are cathedrals for those with eyes to see. Yeah, it's like oh man, it's like sometimes, oh wow, they poured coffee on his crotch. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm also not shaming. I think people that are this kind of horny keep us alive as people.
Yeah.
We can't be sexless monsters. You gotta be horny about a weird dog with a mustache in a cartoon.
Yeah.
How you stay alive.
And in general, like, this kind of reminded me of, like, way, way, way back at the start of Cartoon Buffoons when we did Super Secret Secret Squirrel, where I was like, oh, this is so much charm and personality to it, and the character designs are so cute. I really wish that this caught on more so that all the furries would, like, hyperfixate over it and draw a bunch of fan art of it. But unfortunately, like, this, as far as, like, cartoon pilots that have, like, a lot of sexy fan art to them, like, again, I've never heard of this pilot until we watched it.
No, me neither. I'm kind of surprised it's so well made, yeah.
Yeah, it's so well made, and it's by, people who worked on 2 shows that I enjoyed, and loved. And, like I said, I remember when we did Kitty Bobo, and it was, like, funny to go on the artist's, like, Blue Sky or Twitter or whatever. Yeah, she just has, like, a bunch of erotic pictures, like,
I love that it's a side
porn.
character. It's Maggie. Like, it's not even Kitty Bobo. Like, so we're like, who gives a fuck about that guy?
She's just like, this is all the fan art I'm getting. And it's like, maybe she's removed enough from it to not consider it. Like, because I'm sure some people who make shows are like, oh, it's weird that you're making sexy fan art of my show that's meant for kids. But I think that she's like, this was like 20 years ago. Who cares? People remember it and are drawing fan art of it. Whatever. I'll repost the foot fetish art of this character. I don't care.
Dude, listen, look, if you remember my pilot didn't get picked up and you draw yourself like being stuck between the toes of the character, that means that you loved it more than those executives did. So thank you so much. The show should have been about Maggie and not Kitty Bobo. She's so much cuter and charming.
And it feels like it's more representative of the creator. Like, that is
her whole thing.
Like, I was going to say, it feels like her. Like, that's what, maybe she was like that at some point. And it's just, like, projecting that character. And then, but just had to make it like, oh, it's about Kitty Bobo because he's like the male character. He's like a male-focused character. Whereas he would be better if he was like a side character and it was just about like, that's that's something that's going on another tangent. That's something that pisses me off about Agretzko, is that it's like, I love the premise of that show so much and I would love to, like, engage with it, but it just keeps getting worse and worse, like, as the seasons go on. Like, that's just everything everybody has ever said about it. It's just like, if you like the first season, just keep that memory and never engage with any of the other seasons. Because I just like the idea of being like, oh, the office life of, these, like, late 20s, early 30s, women that are, like, struggling to get by in, like, Japanese society or whatever. Like, that's just such a good premise for, like, a fun cartoon with cute little animal characters, but the fact that it just gets, like, so wrapped up in a lot of this, like, storytelling that goes nowhere, or, like, plot lines that are, like, repetitive
stupid
or circular.
Hyena motherfucker. Like, no,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I have, like, I watched the first season that I had a great time, and then people told me the same thing. I also have, like, a no second seasons rule when it comes to, like, most Netflix stuff. Because, like, Netflix is, like, so good at making a second season bad. Like, I think it should be studied how many Netflix shows go, ooh, season 2, what if it sucked, everybody? I'm like, damn.
Yeah, the only times where that's not the case are things where it's, like, where it's made by a secondary studio. There's like DreamWorks shows that are made on Netflix, even though I know Voltron was also a DreamWorks show and that went completely off the fucking rails.
I understand, but Voltron rules. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I do want to watch through Voltron at some point, because I'm like, I can't imagine it's that bad. Like, because people were treating it like it truly was one of the worst cartoons that they've ever seen. But I kind of understand now where they might be coming from after staying, like, keeping up with the Dragon Prince for 7 seasons, and it just ended on such a fucking wet fart of a finale that it just, like, recontextualized the whole show. Because the entire time, again, sorry for the tangents, everybody, but this is what this episode is. The whole time, I was like, oh, okay, they haven't, there's these cool ideas and these
This
cool
is so
characters and
funny.
these cool plots that they could go on, but they haven't, they're not doing it yet. But maybe next season, they'll do it. And then every single time I would watch the next season, it's like, okay, they did like a couple of them, but there's still a couple hanging threads that they can do. Oh, it's going to be really great when they finally like deliver on this thing. And then like, oh, the show gets canceled after 3 seasons, and then, COVID happens and everything. Avatar becomes very popular on Netflix. The show gets brought back. They get 4 more seasons. 4 more seasons to wrap up the story. And then I'm like, okay, clearly this is going, they're finally going to pay off a lot of the stuff that they've been building up to in this world. They're really going to like dig into like the mythology of this world and a lot of the stuff that they can only really touch on in those first 3 seasons. And then season after season kept on coming, and they just did not do that. And there was enough good elements to keep me engaged, but there was enough problems with it where I was kind of hesitant. But I was just like, by the end of the show, it will all be worth it. Was not worth it when you get to the end of the show.
And then they want more seasons.
Yeah, and then they want more fucking seasons, because the problem is they didn't actually end the show, even though they said, like, we got 4 more seasons, we can end this, and then they created, like similar to Avatar, each of the seasons is based on one of the elements, and in this show there's 6 elements and then one kind of elements in the fact that there's dark magic. So they're like, okay, we have 7 seasons, so 6 of them are based on the different elements, and then the final one is going to be based on dark magic, and it's like wrapping up this whole storyline. And you got Erebos, who's like the sexiest villain.
Wyatt.
And you got like, and
Wyatt,
he's like,
Wyatt.
Yeah.
When I tell you this is hitting, like complain about capitalism levels, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
You've been on this exact tirade before about the Dragon Prince and them going, hey everybody, support us so we get an extra season in a movie. I remember you doing this 3 times before on the Buffoons recording. I'm not against it. It's just so funny that this show has like made you so angry about Netflix shows.
I'll believe you that happened. I can't remember doing it on Cartoon Buffoons specifically, but I definitely have done it on Discord, because it was so infuriating. Like when it first happened and I finished the season, I was like, this is the most pissed off I've been at the ending of a season of television, because like I've never seen something where it like ended so clearly and then they're like, actually, no, it didn't. And would watch it, tune in for 3 more seasons. It was like so bad that I actually almost broke my rule of making a video that was a negative video about like a cartoon that I hated, because I wanted to talk about how much I hated the finale of The Dragon Prince. But yeah, anyway, fuck that show. But Diggs Tailwagger, that's like a 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
it's like one of the best pilots we've ever seen. Again, just so funny, so charming, great. I love the setting. I love all the character designs. And
it's
I think
also rare for us to get a pilot that feels like it could be a show. This felt
absolutely,
like
yeah, exactly. Like this is one of those things where I was like, man, I wish that this was turned into a show like similar to in the previous episode that we did about pilots, like Upstate 4. That was another one.
Yeah,
I really wish that became like a full show. And yeah, I don't know. This, I would say, like, if there's anything different about this that, like, might hold it back, it's that it does have it does feel very much like SpongeBob or Rocko's Modern Life artistically. Like, it has, like, a kind of, like, house style to it. It's not a very unique art style, whereas, like, you look at What's Wrong with Ruth or whatever, and that has, like, a very unique art style of a certain degree, and then like whatever, like Upstate 4 was the thing that we just talked about. Like that has
this does feel Nickelodeon in a way, like the way like it's like streamlined in a way. It does feel Nickelodeon because Cartoon Network does do like the weirder swing sometimes. So yeah, I definitely pick up on that. Yeah.
But I think that it looks so good, and it's such a good example of that I just don't care, and it's just like it just adds to the high quality of it. So yeah, I give it a perfect score.
Me too.
But anyway, I guess that's it for the
honestly
for cartoon buffoons.
Yeah, because we got something special next time. So this was a clean little in between before we get something special going.
Yeah, if you don't know, we are once again doing another theme month, just because we really enjoyed the Nickelodeon one. So we're still keeping it in Cartoon Network, but we're doing a different programming block on Cartoon Network. That would be Adult Swim. So we're starting off with Venture Bros as our first episode, and then we'll figure out the rest. Joe Perro will probably be in there.
We'll just DM about it.
Show.
Yeah. Oh God. My dad.
Yeah, but we're talking about Venture Bros first because that's one that we both really love, and you said that you had like a guest.
Yes,
that you wanted to bring on for that. So I guess we can call them up whenever we're done recording this. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. It should, as far as when that's going to be airing, that should be in August. Like, you should be listening to this at the end of July, and then they should be coming out during August. Excuse me. But yeah, there you go. That's actually, you know what? Very conveniently, because at the time that we're recording this, it's the end of June.
Yeah.
And this week is the episode that's going up is the Dragon Ball Z episode.
For Pride Month.
For Pride Month. It's only 1 week before my birthday. So it's close enough in proximity to my birthday that I can treat the Dragon Ball Z episode like my birthday episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
And for my birthday, we'll watch all of Naruto.
Exactly, yeah. But we can only watch Naruto. We can't watch Naruto Shippuden.
Whatever. That's fair.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk a little bit about Shippuden, but I know for the DBZ episode, we only really talked about DBZ. We kind of stayed away from GT and Super and even Dragon
Except for
Ball.
when we bitched about it.
Yeah, that's true. But all right, Morgan, where can we find you on the internet?
Hello, everyone. You can find me at Girl Next Vor on Tumblr and on Blue Sky. You gotta get the Blue Sky quickly, though, because I don't really have a bit. I think I'm just gonna blow it up. So you gotta get there before I blow it up. You can find me there. I'm drawing. I'm talking about things. I'm also in the process right now of drawing, some werewolf stuff. Usually vampires. I'm switching over. I'm changing my allegiances. So you can check that out. Wyatt, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me over on Twitter and Blue Sky at Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. It's mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about podcasts I'm doing or videos I'm making. And right now, I'm not in the middle of making a video. I've kind of focused all my energy into a bunch of stuff. I had just made a Metroid Prime 4 video, and then before that, a long-ass Stugo video. So I don't know. The next one will probably be about Transformers Earthspark because I have like half a script written about that. And the only thing that scares me about that is that I kind of feel like I have to talk about some of the like people being mad about Nightshade being non-binary, like that.
Just call in one of your
discourse.
Call in one of your transgender friends to do a little write and talk about it.
To talk about that.
Yeah, like you're a grungler, so you got a lot of them. You're a grungler, so.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but the. But I will say that pretty much most of my friends on the internet are trans girls, so that's they'll be very easy to get. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I please read the definition of grungler? I found it. It's awful.
Please.
The grungler is a slang term most often used to describe a pleasant bisexual man, possibly autistic, who likes or has been welcomed to a Discord group full of transgender and alt women who play video games.
How is that so specific? Like, how is that
There's
thing?
A lot of grunglers. Look, there's a lot of grunglers in the streets, dude.
That just feels so. By the way, it has not happened to me yet, so I guess we'll see. I have been invited to a Discord about book writing.
Yeah, with a bunch of trans women and alt women. Yeah,
but they're not. The only video game they're talking about is Deltarune. That's the only video game they have talked about, so it's fine.
We gotta get you true grumbler status. We gotta fucking play a video game together.
Gotta get to that. Gotta grungle it up. But what the fuck was that? Oh yeah, I was talking about. Yeah, so that's the next video I want to work on, and then eventually, probably next year, my big project will be Beast Wars. But until then, I'll probably do some smaller things. But yeah, that's that'll do it for this week's episode of Cartoon Buffoons. It was a weird one. There's a lot of rambling and tangents and everything, and there was like two kind of semi-decent, like two good-ish pilots, and then one really good one, and then one really bad one. So it was comparatively it was a good week. But yeah, next week we'll be talking like real in-depth stuff. I'm gonna have a fucking book of notes about Venture Bros. I have so many. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited to talk about Venture Bros. But all right, peace out, everybody.
Goodbye.